Welcome to the IRS Whisperer podcast. This podcast is designed for tax professionals with a spin toward IRS representation. My name is Dan Hem, and I'm a CPA CTR. New episodes will drop weekly on Thursdays. Each week we'll be giving you exciting material to help the tax pro in their tax practice. That's assuming you can say exciting and taxes in the same sentence. On the IRS Whisperer podcast, each episode will cover 3 different areas of a tax practice. We will present the marketing moment, which will cover various topics in marketing or sales to help you generate more clients and revenue in your business. The world of practice management will give you suggestions on how to better run your tax practice. We will also cover our technical time that will cover some of the latest changes or tips, tricks to help you in handling your IRS representation cases. So I'm so glad you are here and hope you enjoy the show. Now, on to today's episode. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about writing a book. Why writing a book should be an important part of your tax practice. If you're looking for things to differentiate yourself between you and your competition, a book is one of the major things and can do that. Well, what is the things that really differentiate you with your competition now? Well, most of us will say we provide great service, we've got years of experience, and we handle our client, with special care. And if you really look at it, everybody says that. It's just that simple. Now, what I want to talk about is that we hold book authors to sort of a higher esteem. We raise them up on a pedestal because they're book authors. We're not talking about the Stephen Kings or the Tom Clancy's or the J.K. Rowling's of writing books. We're talking about a nonfiction book. So where you're talking about your expertise, your knowledge, your experience, and the things that you normally talk and tell your clients. Now, there are many ways in which you can go about writing a book. The first one is obviously writing it yourself. Now, as you can understand, that's going to be the most time consuming. It's the most mentally it's going to get in your head, just from the standpoint that it seems such a daunting, overwhelming task. Most of you that are tax professionals listening to this podcast already don't have the time as it is, let alone what you think is the extra time is going to take to write a book. It's going to take you a year. It's going to take you hours each day. And I'm here to tell you that you're over complicated. It is a lot more simple than that. So writing your book can be as simple as just sit down 15 minutes, for as little as 15 minutes, and maybe as long as an hour a day. And it doesn't have to be every day of the week. It can just be maybe a few days a week. But if you can commit to taking 15 minutes to an hour to sit there and write. When I wrote my article for my newspaper, it used to take me about an hour to write about 1,000 words. And if you really look at that and you figure that the average book is probably, nonfiction book is probably somewhere in the 30 to 100,000 words. So if you really look at writing an hour a day for 1,000 words, that you could write a 50,000 word book in 50 days. It seems that simple. In 50 days, that's less than 2 months. And that's an hour a day. That's really not asking a whole lot. Now, you want to take more time, then do it 30 minutes. Then that's 100 days. So it's actually pretty simple in order for you to do that. You could start by writing an outline for your book. So what's the main overall topic that you want to start with your first book as something that's a little more broad in terms of the topics, and it covers many different aspects of tax, bookkeeping, payroll, resolution, exam, that type of book. Or you can be more specific and talk about a whole particular niche, say like the real estate niche is one that I'm very familiar with. So the real estate niche, you could talk about depreciation and like-kind exchanges and using the 121, $250,000, $500,000 exclusion. You could talk about costs and record keeping. And so there's so many different topics that you can cover. The best way you do is you write out this outright, figure your outline are going to be your table of contents, your main chapters. And if you write that, you could write anywhere from, a minimum of probably 8 or 9 to as many as up to 20. Now, 20 is probably a bit much, but I'd say if you fall in the maybe somewhere 12 to 15 is probably a good area. and then you come back and then you write 3 bullet points under each one of those, and then you keep expanding from there. Now, one easy way to accomplish this is to do this by writing a blog post for each one of those 3 bullet points on each topic. Write a blog post, post it to your blog, and now you've got material that you can start systematically putting together for your book. Now, you can use AI to help with this. I wouldn't recommend having AI be the writer of your whole book, although you could do that. But make sure you please read everything, because using AI, they hallucinate, they do tell some falsities. And so you need to make sure that you read everything that it gives you, because it may misconstrue things, give something from. So you need to make sure that you're reviewing anything if you're using AI. But you can use it to supplement and help you to be a little more creative in your writing. But after a period of time, after you've done that, you put it together, you read it again to make sure it meshes all together. And obviously you'll find edits and things. Give it to a few friends to read them and ask them if they would do that for you. And then publishing is pretty simple. I use the Amazon KDP, and there's other places that you can go to out there for self-publishing, but it's really easy to do that. Now, second way to do this is ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is basically just finding somebody to write the book for you. So, it's what do I want to write on? What's the main topic? What are some of the various bullet points? Look for a ghostwriter that writes in your particular space. If they understand business writing, then they'll understand a lot of the material that we need to talk and write about. They can do the research and they can write their material. And so you work with them to basically write this book. They give it to you, you read it, you edit it. You can even hire a separate third-party editor to be safe. And then you can still do the same self-publishing, or there's one other option we'll talk about here in a second. That's ghostwriting. Now, licensing a book is another way. What is licensing? That means basically you're taking somebody else's book or material and you add, edit, adjust certain pieces to that book. Now, full disclosure, I've got a book on all 3 of these methods already. I've got a book that I've licensed. It's probably 90% licensed. I've got a book I've used a ghostwriter, and I've got books that I've written myself. And I probably guess if you read my books, you'd know which one it was which. Licensing a book, we have that in the Tax Resolution Academy. We have a few chapters in a book course that you can use as part of writing your book if you wanted to write a book on a resolution topic. That's another way in which you can accomplish that. Now, let's quickly look at costs on the 3 of those. Well, obviously writing the book yourself is the cheapest and most economical. I mean, you're going to spend some money, but it's not, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of money. You might spend $300 to $500. In a ghostwriter, you're going to spend some money to have a ghostwriter. You could probably expect a minimum, probably $2,000 to as much as $10,000 to write a book. And if you're licensing a book, you're probably going to pay north of $5 to $25 or more to license a book, depending on the book that you're writing about. Now, a couple other ways to get your book done is a collaborative writing. So if you've got a group of other professionals that maybe are ancillary, maybe you're in a mastermind group, maybe you're in a networking group, maybe you're in a membership group together, and you each kind of say, hey, let's write a book, and we'll write on different topics, where you might have a chapter or 2 to write out of, say, 12 to 20 chapters. Everybody's name goes on the book, and you sell it in the normal ways that you would do sort of in a self-publishing book. But the nice thing is that you've got all these co-authors who are helping you write the book. Now, lastly is hiring a book coach. A book coach is somebody, and there are plenty out there, that basically will help you formulate your ideas, to figure out what your goals are, determine what the book that you need to write. And they will help you put it together. They actually will, depending on the coach, will actually either guide you through the process of doing it yourself, working with a ghostwriter or kind of doing it for you. And that one can also run the gamut, but expect that you're going to spend easily, $8,000 to $25,000 or more. And I've heard of many people who have done that. It just depends on your wherewithal of the funds that you have and you're just write the book, how quickly you want to get it done. If you hire a ghostwriter, if you hire a coach, if you do the licensing, those are more likely to be done faster than if you do the collaborative writing yourself with others, because now you're at the whim of others and their schedules and how they write and get projects done, versus yourself, which is doing the self-publishing, the very first one that I talked about. That one could take some time, depending on your motivation, if you have any accountability, if you have a good accountability partner that's asking you about that. My mastermind group that I work with right now, I've got one of my members, she's in the process of writing her book, and we're giving her some deadlines to make sure that she try to work to get her book done. So far, she's doing very well, and she's got a good outline, a good start with the process of her book done. But it is very important to get that book done. The first one is the hardest one, because once you've done that and you've seen the process, then it's much easier to work on the next book. I've got 4 books of my own, then I've got a few others that are a compilation of some other things that I've done with my buddy Jason Bowman. So I highly recommend that you have a book, and that book can be your next business card. You go to networking functions, you go to speak, you go to meet with clients and prospects, you hand them a copy of your book. And nothing is going to scream expertise, authority, even celebrity status than you writing a book and handing that to somebody. At the end of the day, please make sure you write that book. And if you'd like to reach out to me and get some ideas, thoughts, and find ways to get accountability, get that book done, reach out to me via email, and you'll find that available in the show notes. So having said that, I hope you take this to heart and you work to try and get that book done. You will have a great time. Make it happen. Be a doer of things. And until next time, this is Dan Henn, CPA, CTR, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you for listening to our show. We hope you received some valuable information to help you in your tax practice. The IRS Whisperer is sponsored by the Tax Resolution Academy. If you have any questions you'd like to see addressed on the show or comments to help us make it better, please reach out to us on social media. Follow us or download our shows on your favorite podcast app. Tune in to our next episode where we'll give you some more exciting information to help you grow your practice.